very beautiful morning to you once again. Welcome. Today, the 17th of June, 2026. It is another bright and a beautiful day, and another day to have conversations centered around the growth of Nigeria. Welcome to Perspectives Unlimited this morning on Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. And we're reaching you live from Wales Broadcasting House along Alaafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies, and a bit to keep you abreast about happenings, and of course to also get your own perspectives about issues that concern Nigeria. So together with the analysts in the studio this morning, we will be delving into some of the major national dailies that we have here in Nigeria. My name is Toluwaleke Alli. You can watch us live on Facebook. We're at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. And on YouTube, it is at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. Wales Radio 89.3 FM on YouTube. And you can also listen live via our website on www.walesradio893.com. www.walesradio893.com, and of course also across various radio directories at Wales Radio 89.3 FM. So good morning once again and welcome. First, let's take a look at the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, despite reforms, Naira remains weak. That's according to the IMF, and it's on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Sultan, Catholic bishops demand action against insecurity. That's on page 8. 96-year-old woman dies after alleged attack by granddaughter. To read more on that story, check out page 13 of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning. The lead story reads, How Gunmen Attacked NIPSS. The story begins on the front page and continues on page 4 with pictures of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, on the front page as well. Appeal Court suspends Justice Lifu's judgment, deregistering ADC others. And the story is on page 5. Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. 2 soldiers, 1 policeman killed as gunmen attack NIPSS in Kuru, Jos. That's on page 26. Or you're not Chibok. We will rescue abducted pupils, teachers. That's according to the governor, Makinde. And it has a rider as VDM leads protest against insecurity. To read more on that story, check page 13 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 1999 transition. AD didn't meet our requirements for registration. That's according to Abdul Salami. And it has 2 riders, says it was accommodated to avoid unrest from Southwest. Its alliance with APP violated electoral law, he adds. That story is on page 3. The lead story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, beg your pardon. Appeal Court halts execution of judgment deregistering ADC, accord 3 others. And that's on page 2. Oyebanji came well prepared for leadership. It deserves another term, Tinubu tells Ekiti voters. That's on page 2. 2027, defect, lose your seat, says NDC, signs indemnity form with candidates. That's on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Terrorism. We have recorded 150 convictions in 2 days. That's coming from the federal government, and it's on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. And finally, in the health column on page 26, simple writing test can detect early cognitive decline, researchers say. Moving on to the Punch newspaper for this morning, above the masthead, NDC to bind Obi Kwankwaso with anti-defection oath. That's on page 12. Senate recalls members from recess over rising insecurity. That story can be found on page 10 this morning. Driver's death. Air Force detains officers, launches probe. Story can be found on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. States kick as Senate moves to amend Electricity Act. And that's also on page 20. And the lead story this morning on the front page of the Punch newspaper. 2027 battle. Mark slams federal government after appeal court reverses ADC deregistration. And it has 3 riders. Relief for ADC, 4 parties, as appeal court upturns High Court judgment. Atiku, ADC, others tackle judiciary, demand NJC probe. INEC hailed for opposing controversial judgment. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government releases barely 5% of 54.93 trillion naira 3-year road budget. And that's on page 9. 150 terrorists convicted in 48 hours. That's according to the AGF, and the story is also on page 10 of the Punch newspaper. And the final story, UK sanctions Nigerian firm linked to Russia finance network. And that story is on page 12. Checking out the front page of the Guardian newspaper now. I'm ready to risk my life for release of Orire abductees, Makinde vows. And that's on page 3. Gencos raise concern over fresh 1 trillion naira debt. Decry 2.376 trillion naira stranded power. And that's also on page 3. And still on page 3, petroleum remains 1,350 naira per litre in Abuja amid crashing oil prices. Dangote effects 75 naira cut. The lead story, digital adoption leaves 300 local governments stranded, dependent on POS agents. And that's on page 6. There's a pictorial image showing the vanishing bank branch and the rise of POS middlemen. The story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Atiku, Mark, lead opposition pushback as appeal court holds party deregistration. That's also on page 6. We won't bow to forces of darkness, intimidation, says Adeleke, and that's on page 7. Court dismisses Yaya Bello's jurisdiction sued in 110.4 billion naira fraud trial. That's on page 13. Senate denies Oshiomole's forgery allegation over Natasha's suspension. That's on page 5. The federal government records 150 terrorism convictions as Tinubu hails Bastogi's elimination. The story is on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. How Sowore lost in his alleged rights violation suit against SSS, its DG. That's on page 15. And the final story on the front page, Ripple invests in Flutterwave as $3.2 billion valuation to improve cross-border payments. and that's on page 2. And finally, on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper for this morning, above the masthead, Dangote Refinery lowers petrol price by 75 naira per litre as oil falls by 5%. And that's on page 19. Troops rescue 398 kidnapped victims, arrest 31 terrorists, neutralize 10. That's on page 6. Worry delineation. Ishakiri folds a jaw Urobo interpretation of Tinubu's intervention. And that's on page 12. Senate, Oshiomhole, a daggers drawn over Natasha's 6 months suspension. And that's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. And the lead story reads, Relief for ADC, other parties, as appeal court stops deregistration. And it has a couple of riders, blasts a trial judge Lifu over judicial rascality. INEC backs stay of execution. Opposition alleges plot to silence rivals. Olawepo Hashim, Adebayo, Accord, CNPP, Ame, Ajulo speak. Justice Lifu declines the end of ADC case. Others mark Aregbesola to pay 1 million naira fine. And the story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government moves to end open grazing, identifies 470 gazetted reserves. That's on page 8. Insecurity. Oyo will never be another Chibok. That's according to Makinde, and it's on page 25. Gunmen attack NIPSS in Plateau, kill 2 soldiers, 1 policeman, and that's on page 9. Proposed plastic ban could trigger deindustrialization, job losses. That's according to MAN, and it's on page 20. And the final story, ships remain on hold in Strait of Hormuz despite U.S.-Iran deal. And that's on page 8. And those are the stories across the front pages of some of our national dailies this morning. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Perspectives Unlimited on the Wales Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. And with me in the studio this morning is our analyst, Chukwemeka Munachi. So good morning, Chukwemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
All right, let us begin with this story in the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government moves to end open grazing, identifies 470 gazetted reserves. The federal government has identified 470 gazetted and legally protected grazing reserves for the rehabilitation and resettlement of pastoralists as part of efforts to end the era of cattle roaming the streets of Abuja, Lagos, and other parts of the country. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mahia, disclosed this during a televised interview while speaking on the implementation of the National Dairy Policy Framework and plans to transform Nigeria's livestock sector. According to him, relocating herders into these reserves will strengthen disease surveillance, breed improvement, and animal health management. Asked whether Nigerians should expect an end to cattle roaming the streets in cities, the minister replied affirmative, adding that open grazing was no longer sustainable as long-distance cattle movement contributes significantly to low productivity and the inability to meet domestic dairy demand. He attributed the gap to poor livestock genetics, inadequate feeding systems, and weak disease management. And Mahia explained that despite Nigeria's estimated 270 million ruminants, cattle, sheep, goats, and camels, the country has failed to modernize its livestock genetics over time. Now, this is not the first time we're hearing about we're going to put an end to open grazing. And, in fact, a ministry was created to ensure that, we have a more put together livestock ministry or department rather. But it just feels like it's always conversation in the book or what we just read in the papers, because you go on the road and then you still see livestock all over. You see somebody taking his cattle through even an expressway. It is that bad. We've had this conversation over and over again.
We will keep on having it as far as government does not know what it is doing in that regard. You see, Tulu, if you look at countries where they have this cattle thing, a country like Argentina, countries that have modernized everything that has to do with their livestock, you know that Nigeria is still very primitive. It's only here, in some African countries, you won't even see cows roaming about. Our problem is not laws, it's about implementation. Remember, under Buhari, we said all these things. We said all of them. Yet, when you leave this place right now, go to Sharp Corner, you will see people carrying cattle all over the place, and they defecate on the main road. How could you, that kind of society, how do you expect people to live in that kind of environment? Where and some of these animals we consume are even diseased. You cannot carry cattle from Sokoto to Lagos through bush path, and that animal will remain healthy. And we consume these things. And that's why you go to hospital, you see people with all manner of sicknesses. They don't know the origin. Because if we have created a livestock ministry, are they working? This is we created them, I think, at the inception of this administration. Livestock ministry was created. Has it ever worked? Do you know that at times you see something coming from Abuja, you see cattle all over Abuja, a state capital. You see, you begin to wonder, is it that the people that are given this responsibility don't know what they are doing, or the people that are into cattle business don't want to obey the law? If they don't want to obey the law, are they above the state? That's why I keep saying that. It's like there are so many people are above this country that when they remember what happened under Buhari. State governors, these cattle rearers defied many state governors and nothing happened. They behaved as if Nigeria is their property, their estate, and they can graze their cattle anywhere. Up to today, they are still doing it. So I'm not excited by what you are saying this morning until we discover that you don't see cattle again on the street. They asked FCC minister this question: when will cattle stop roaming all over Abuja? He kept quiet. He didn't know what to say because he didn't know what he would say, and it will offend some powers that be. But that is not how to run a country. There must be laws. It's a personal business of some people. You take care of your animal. Nobody says you should not rear animal, but confine the animal in a place where it will not be a nuisance to farmers. Remember what happened in Adamawa State between one Sunday Jackson and the header. You took your cattle to his farm, and he was there. You asked your cattle to be eating what they planted. Imagine the infantry. The man challenged you. You stabbed the man. The man collected the knife and stabbed you to death. They took the man to court and they sentenced him to death. If not that people rose up, that Sunday Jackson would have died. Can we continue to have these things in a country that said we're a sovereign nation? We cannot. Business, cattle rearing is good business. But the issue is that you don't have to use it to cause problem to other people who are into farming or other things they are doing. You confine it to a place where you go and buy land. It's like people that are doing fishery or poultry. Is government involved in poultry? They are not involved in fishery. People buy land. Why must these people be doing things they are not supposed to be doing, and they inconvenience other people? It's wrong. I pray that I doubt if this thing will work. Honestly speaking,
but because we invested so much in the ministry already. It
is not working. Investment is different from making. If you put the right people in the right place, things will work out. That's why it's not working. We have done these things severally, Yet it is not working. Why is it not working? And government is in the business of throwing money at problems without even following up. If you have been spending money on this thing, and you know that we have lost lives over this cattle thing, we have lost lives, and yet cattle are still on the road. The question you ask yourself is that why is it that it's not working? Is it that the people I gave the responsibility don't know what to do, or that we have not given our laws teeth? Any law without teeth cannot work in Nigeria. In Anambra State, during the time of Obiano, they had this understanding with the headers. If your cattle enters into somebody's farm and eat up anything, you will pay. And it was working for them. But the issue is that must you allow cattle to be roaming all over the place? That's the question. In this time and age, it's no longer sustainable, like the man said. It's not sustainable. For goodness sake, we're not living in 18th century. We are not. This is the time for Nigeria. And if we want to really make money out of cattle business, we can make money out of it. Honestly speaking, if these people begin to take care of their animals, it's not government business, it's personal business. You take care of your animal. Don't bring, and if they begin to have a place where these animals will be kept and taken care of, do you know it's going to have a lot of positive consequences? Number one, these people will go to school. They will go to school. They will stop roaming. And they will have a future. Because you see a small boy that is about 15 years with 30 or 50 cattle inside a forest, that guy cannot go to school. Or he will spend all his life doing that business. Whatever he has to contribute to the growth of this country will be lost. Because we left him with an animal. And animal rearing, I don't think it is something he has to do all his life. They'll be expose them to modern ways of rearing animals so that they can even go to school. We are losing them.
All right, thank you so much. Let us move on to the Punch newspaper this morning. Federal government releases barely 5% of 54.93 trillion naira 3-year road budget. The federal government has released about 2.68 trillion naira for the construction, rehabilitation and maintenance of roads and bridges across the country between 2023 and April 2026. That's according to findings from the Punch newspaper from the Open Treasury portal. The analysis, however, revealed a significant disparity between approved budgets and actual releases, with the government making provisions totaling 54.93 trillion naira for road-related projects within the period under review. Now, the figures highlight both the growing emphasis on infrastructure development and the persistent financial constraints that continue to affect capital project execution in the country. And this development comes amid the ongoing renewed Hope Media Tour organized by the Presidential Communications Team that is designed to showcase projects being implemented on the President Bola Tinubu's renewed Hope agenda. The data from the Open Treasury portal showed that road projects attracted a combined budgetary allocation of 2.53 trillion naira in 2023, out of which 631.51 billion naira was released. And that's a show of 24.95% implementation. A year-by-year breakdown rather showed that the road construction projects received 280.14 billion naira from a budget of 1.09 trillion naira during the year. And now this goes on and on from 2023 till now.
You see, Tolu, Nigerians must understand that there's a world of difference between headline allocation and the actual allocation. Some of these things you read in the newspapers are just headline allocation. They are not implemented, because if you ask people that are in that sector, they don't receive anything. You understand? And it is a pointer to the fact that there's no transparency in the way government is handling whatever that has to do with this country. If you have allocated that kind of money, where is the evidence? That is the question. You understand? And remember, Tolu, that one of the reasons for the removal of fuel subsidy was that if we remove it, we have enough fund for critical infrastructure in our country. And the road network is part of the critical infrastructure. Can you beat your chest right now and say that we have arrived? We have not. I keep saying it that there will be no development in any system where transparency is lacking, where there are no checks and balances, where institutions are not strong enough to check the excesses of those in power. Because people love power, every human being. But the reason why we have a sane society is that there will be institutions that will check what you are spending on behalf of the people. A society that lacks such strong institutions will never have any fulfilling project. It will not work. Because they know that at the end of the day, nobody will ask me a question. If you know that Tolu, you are here now because you know that if you don't come for your program, you will receive a query. That's why you are here. But without that thing, once in a while, people may not come. You understand? And that is the way they run our country. And I've asked this question every time I come. I always ask this question. The people that are leading Nigeria, they have private companies. They have private enterprises. Do they run their enterprises and companies the way they run Nigeria? Can you give somebody money and go to sleep? You don't come back to ask the person, come and tell me how you spend the money I gave to you. But they run Nigeria that way. We give people allocations. If it is not headline allocation, mind me, if it is actual allocation, is there anywhere is there any institution who will check how far they have gone in the project they are given to do? There are so many projects in Nigeria that are unattended to, and yet money has been released. Why? Because nobody is asking questions, and Nigerians themselves have been boxed in a corner. They cannot ask questions. The Nigerians don't see themselves as the owners of the country. They don't. That's the tragedy of our system. They see leaders as the people who own the country, forgetting that without the people, there will be no leadership. The day Nigerians will wake up to understand that they are truly the owners of the country, that leaders are supposed to be their servants, this country will change in every trajectory. But as far as we still have this mindset that, they are leaders, they are not accountable to us, they will never be accountable to us. Why is it that in other countries that have developed, people hold their leaders accountable? When you don't hold their leaders accountable, you will see what we are seeing in Nigeria. That's why we are underdeveloped. And as far as you are working on this path, this country will remain underdeveloped. It's not a cause, it's a reality. You wake up and ask leaders. I've said it, I read a book where a man said, I think it's George Orwell. He said, a society where government is afraid of the people, that society will prosper and will be developed. You know why? Because they know that the people can rise up. But a society where the people is afraid, where the people are afraid of the government, that society will be underdeveloped, and Nigeria falling into that category. We can never develop as far as we are afraid of those we put in power. Because we are afraid to ask them questions. You go to the street and say, no. The police will arrest you. Army will kill you. The institutions of security institutions are not wired to protect the people, but to protect those in power. As far as it is that way, we can never have development in this country. We are supposed to go more than this. Nigeria is not supposed to be at this level. If actually Nigerians are holding their leaders accountable, we will not, because we have everything it takes to be a great nation. But why are we lagging behind? Because we are afraid. Because our leaders are not accountable to us, and because we are not even asking them questions. Whatever they throw at us, we take. Election is coming now. People are sharing rice, spaghetti. Imagine somebody coming to your house to give you spaghetti. It means that guy looks at you as a failure, that you don't have what it takes to ask him hard questions. And somebody who gives you spaghetti and rice and kuli, he believes that you are nothing. That is the reason why we are where we are today. And we keep on saying these things, and Nigerians are keep on falling on daily basis. Imagine going to a politician's house for rice and spaghetti. He will give it to you, and you go and vote him in. He forget about you for the next 4 years. And after 4 years, he will come back again. What kind of? And we go to church, we go to mosque. God will come and help us when you are the one undermining yourself.
All right, thank you. You can be a part of the conversation. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, or 0911-3333-893. Let's go on to the story that is across all of our national dailies this morning. Appeal Court stays execution of ruling deregistering ADC for others, and this is from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, has ordered a stay of execution of the judgment of a federal high court which directed the INEC to deregister the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Action Alliance, AA, Accord Party, Zenith Labour Party, and the Action People's Party for non-compliance with Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution by not producing any elected official in the last election. Justice Peter Alifu, in a judgment that was delivered on Monday, ordered INEC to deregister the affected parties, having failed to secure 25% of votes in the last general elections in compliance with the provision of the law. The court said the parties failed to meet the constitutional threshold under the Section 225 of the 1999 Constitution, which gives INEC the power to deregister parties that failed to meet the constitutional requirements. And then in the same judgment, Justice Lifu barred INEC from further according recognition to the parties, accepting nominations of candidates from the affected parties, or giving effect to their activities for the purpose of participating in the 2027 general elections. But at proceedings yesterday in an interlocutory appeal by the Accord Party over the rejoinder of the parties in the suit filed by the National Forum of Former Legislators before Justice Lifu, seeking the deregistration of the 5 political parties, all counsel in the appeal urged the court to either stay the execution of the judgment of the trial court or set it aside. And then it was stayed. But after then, it has generated quite a number of reactions as David Mark has also slammed the federal government after the appeal court reversed the ADC deregistration. And, so many other reactions have trailed that after. Matter of fact, even Justice Lifu got his own share of it because it was said to have carried out judicial rascality.
Yes, Tolu, we are still going to have a lot of judicial rascality before 2027. I'm not a prophet, but we are still going to have a lot of them. You understand? Because we have a lot of people who are hell-bent on scuttling this general election that is coming using any means possible. You understand? Judiciary, everything, security operate, everything at all. But at the end of the day, the will of the people, Nigeria will win. Let me tell you something. When I read of that judgment, and because we are not, democracy thrives on the rule of law. There is the stay of execution, and yet another court went ahead. How do you reconcile that? And Tolu, we keep on making the same. We keep on throwing spanner in the works. Things that are working. I just pray that ADC, that this another judgment will not come up again. I just pray because many things are at stake at this point in time. All towards making sure that the apple cart is that they upset the apple cart. You understand? To ruffle feathers, to make sure that the people are disorganized. They will not be able to put their acts together in a race towards 2027. Look at I don't know whether you heard the judgment of a court in Plateau State granting indigenship to, I don't know whether you heard of it, people who have lived in Plateau for years, that now court will give them paper, you are now an indigene. I don't want us to go into that because it's another thing altogether. But the judgment of what the federal, is it the federal high court or?
Yeah, the appeal court.
The appeal court, yes. What they have said right now is that, look, let the status quo ante remains, and let's leave it at that. You understand? Because anything that will scuttle this 2027 should be avoided. Let all the contestants, let all the parties, let them have their candidates. The fact that there is a stay of execution should be respected, and let's leave it at that, because we cannot resolve everything at this point in time. But the parties will make sure that they put their ass together, because more of this Peter Lifu, what do you call him? We still have many of them are still going to come out with one thing or the other, because it is all gimmicks, all grandstanding things to make sure that. But there's no point hitting the polity with this kind of pronouncements we are getting from the judiciary. I said it yesterday that democracy thrives very, very well when judiciary is very strong. When judiciary is not tied to any apron string of anybody. But where judiciary is not, does not seem to be doing what it ought to do, there will be a problem.
0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000 or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. You can also call 0911 33 893, 0911 33 893. Drop your comments on Facebook at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page and on WhatsApp on 0915 4999 893. This is still Perspectives Unlimited on Wales Radio 89.3 FM.
Thinking of an all-in-one digital platform that fits your lifestyle and makes everyday payments simple, reliable, and fast?
Oh, wow! Yes, please.
Allow me introduce you to BillStation, your one-stop digital payment solution for individuals and businesses. Built to simplify payments and services for millions across Africa. With BillStation, you can buy cheap airtime and data, pay electricity bills, send money instantly, make online payments, and book flights and hotels. Enjoy our overseas airport pickup services, interstate bus ticket sales, and event tickets, all on BillStation. Fast, simple, reliable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Visit www.thebillstation.com. Download the BillStation app on the Apple App Store or Android Google Play and get welcome bonuses when you sign up. Enjoy fast customer support and a seamless user experience every time. Get in touch with us today.
Email thebillstation175@gmail.com or sales@thebillstation.com.
WhatsApp 091 6858 1914. BillStation. Your world, your money, one station.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafi Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Welcome back. 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0915 333 4893, 0915 333 4893. You can also call 0911 33 33 893, 0911 33 33 893. Drop your comments on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, and on WhatsApp on 0915 4999 893. All right, let's get back to the Punch newspaper. We have 150 terrorists convicted in 48 hours, says AGF. The federal government has secured approximately 150 convictions within the first 2 days of its latest phase of mass terrorism trials. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, disclosed on Tuesday. Fagbemi made the disclosure while speaking with journalists at the Federal High Court in Abuja, where the trials are being conducted simultaneously before 10 judges of the court. The AGF said the current phase, which commenced on Monday, had already recorded about 160 trials, leading to roughly 150 convictions on the first day alone. He added that the proceedings on Tuesday brought approximately 300 cases before the courts, with another 84 cases expected to be concluded before the close of day. Fagbemi appealed for patience from members of the public as the exercise continued, stressing that the initiative reflected the government's commitment to justice, accountability, and the rule of law. On Monday, the AGF had said that the ongoing phase marked the fourth round of mass terrorism trials conducted since the inception of the current administration, describing the exercise as a clear signal that the government would not tolerate terrorism in any form.
Okay, it's a very good development if there are trials of these terrorists. And but the question we keep asking ourselves is this: the federal government is putting them on trial. Thank God we are hearing that about 150 of them. But what happens to a state that is granting them amnesty? That's the question government has to answer. The federal government has to answer. Because terrorism is not for the state governors to wade into. It's not this thing. What happens to a state like Katsina State, where the governor is always granting pardon, amnesty, and making promises to them, and Borno State, where Zulum released almost 300,000 into society. So if federal government is being proactive or doing what it ought to do, why is federal government silent on what the states are doing? Terrorism is not against, is an aggression against Nigerian state, and it must be treated as an offense against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Governor should not use it. Governor should not dabble into granting amnesty or whatever deal with terrorists, because a situation where government enters into negotiation with terrorists, it means that you are conferring legitimacy to what they are doing. It doesn't work. There's no sane society that terrorism issue. It is not a roundtable discussion. It's not. If they are caught, in fact, my suggestion is that they should be shot. And this sending them to prison is even prolonging the matter. You understand?
Let's talk to this person. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my Ruth calling from Malacca.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you. I greet the analyst.
Good morning.
Continue to give you more wisdom, sir.
Thank you very much, my sister.
On insecurity, Nigerians are tired of excuses from the government. Because what we want is free actions. Like what my daddy said now, if they arrest those terrorists, they should be killing them. These people have killed hundreds of people, thousands of people. But next thing we start hearing is that they are reintegrating them back to the society, which is even bad. I just hope the government approach this insecurity of a thing in more decisive actions. Because we are tired of this killing and kidnapping, for God's sake. What we need is real action, not this. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Tolu, you spend money feeding terrorists in prison. You kill them. They have killed, they have maimed, they have raped. You kill them. That is what strong society we do. This thing we are trying, we are sending them to try. One administration will come in now and set them free and say, you can go back. And they will continue. So we will not see an end to terrorism unless we kill them. That is what normal societies will do. You kill them. You don't negotiate with them. What is the argument against Nigeria? Why did they take up arms? Unemployment, are they the only ones unemployed? Why the Southwest youths are not taking up arms? Why the Southeast youths are not taking up arms? We keep on pampering them. We keep on sending wrong signals to them that, you can do whatever you want to do when we bring you, and we're even repenting on their behalf. That's what government is doing. You understand? So, yes, it is good they are trying them, but my suggestion is that they should be killed. There's no need to try them, because when you try them, you send them to 20 years in prison, somebody will come up tomorrow and set them free. And they will go back to their business. You understand? So if you want to clean the state, clean Nigeria from these people, you mess up with their lives. You kill them. When they know that, if they get me, they will kill me. Somebody will think carefully before taking up arms, before kidnapping people. But when you kidnap people and they arrest you, they will bring you, somebody will come and say, let's pardon him. Borno State releasing almost 300 and something. Katsina, 720 people. Because they swore by Quran. Didn't they know about Quran before they took up arms? You hear what I'm saying? So it is not yet Uhuru. Federal government should not be doing one thing, the states are doing another thing. Because they are confusing. This country, if the federal government should put its feet down, like I said yesterday, this human rights lawyer, Femi Falanos, SAN, he said it. He said it is wrong for state governors to be granting pardon to terrorists. It's not a civil offense. It's a heinous, it's treasonable felony against Nigerian state. And you are granting them pardon. You are integrating them into society. What of those they put in IDP camp? Have they gone to their ancestral homes? What have we done for them? Nothing. And we are granting pardon to people who send them to IDP camp. What kind of nonsense is that?
The AGF says this is the fourth of this phase. But before now, a lot of Nigerians did not even know that there was any trial. This is the first that is coming out.
Whether trial or no trial, terrorists should be killed. There's no need to put them on trial. You shot them. You shoot at them. You kill them. When you get them, you kill them. Let them have a taste of what they are giving to people. Do you know how many people that have died in this country? A monarch in Kwara State, after paying 21 million, they still killed the man. Look at a retired army general. They killed him. Look, the list is endless, and you are putting them on trial. For what?
All right, still talking about insecurity. Yesterday, there was a protest here in Ibadan, and the governor said that Oyo will never be another Chibok. And, he also said that it doesn't mind, putting himself forward just to ensure that the victims of the kidnapping Orire come back to their family members. I'll take a bit of that story from the Vanguard newspaper. Governor Seyi Makinde has declared that Oyo State is not Chibok and will never be Chibok, vowing that the pupils and teachers abducted in Orire local government area will be rescued safely. As social media activist Martin Vincent Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man VDM, led a protest over rising insecurity and kidnappings in the state. The protest, which followed a series of kidnapping incidents across Oyo State, saw demonstrators demand urgent action from the government to secure the release of the victims and improve security across the state. Addressing the protesters at his Ikolaba private residence in Ibadan, Makinde struck an emotional tone, insisting that his administration would do everything possible to ensure that the abducted children did not suffer the fate of the Chibok schoolgirls. And since this incident, we've seen quite a number of actions. A market was dismantled because it was said to be, a breeding space for arms and ammunition, and a house was also demolished by the Oyo State government, all in the fight against insecurity becoming a huge thing here in Oyo State.
Tolu, I sympathize with Sheyi Makinde very well. I sympathize with him. You know why? Nigeria is a nation of hypocrites. We must tell ourselves the truth. When Chibok girl happened, Kazim Shettima was the governor of Borno State. And Jonathan was the president. Did you hear people telling Shettima to bring back our girls? People were asking Jonathan. You remember? Jonathan, bring back our girls. Jonathan, bring back our girls. Now, students and teachers were kidnapped in Orire. We are asking Sheyi Makinde to bring back our girls. Why are they not asking Tinubu to bring back our girls? You see, we are hypocrites. The same scenario, the same setting. We are asking the governor to bring back our girls. Why we asked Jonathan to bring back our girls, we didn't ask Shettima to bring back our girls. Go and check all the flyers printed at that time. Nation of hypocrites. Why are we not asking the president to bring back our girls? Why are we asking Sheyi Makinde? Sheyi Makinde is chief security officer of the state on paper. What is he going to use to bring back the girls?
Let's talk to this person. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Radio.
Good morning.
My name is Salami. I'm calling from Awoto. Good morning, Mr. Kukumeka.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, quickly, Mr. Salami.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, go ahead. Yeah? I said quickly.
It's okay. What, sir? Okay, thank you very much. You see, for me, I think Nigerian government has to feel the impulse of the citizens, honestly speaking, because it's like adding more pain to the country by granting by granting terrorists pardon, even taking them calls like these people are merciless. These people are heartless. So I think it should be iron for iron. Meet them with strong hands. They deserve. However, because look at so many people they have even sent to emigrate. They've turned so many women to widows, children to orphans, some men to widowers. And then of the day, you say you are granting them pardon on what basis? So it's like adding more injury. In fact, it's like I don't think any nation that really has the interest of its citizens on it, in fact, we do such a thing. So we should please kind of review that strategy. It's not working. It's not acceptable.
Okay.
Sorry. Tolu, what are we saying? You are asking Makinde to go and bring back the scene. Did you see any flyer say Tinubu bring back our girls? You didn't see it, but all over Jonathan. It was all over the place. Groups like Afeni Ferre carried it on their head.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Aderonke.
Welcome to the show, Aderonke, quickly.
Yeah. The moment we start negotiating with terrorists, that is where the problem comes from. And even after the arrest of these terrorists, they still integrate them back into the system, which is not supposed to be. So the ordering the federal government, they should please try and put an end to the insecurity we are facing in this country as it is at an alarming rate. And for some Governor Sheyi Makinde's speech yesterday at the protest, when VDM came to your state, is a good one coming from the governor. It shows that he has empathy and is ready to rescue the children kidnapped in the Gomosho. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Before I leave, let me ask you this question. Let's assume these terrorists we are talking of, we are pardoning and granting amnesty from the southeast or south-south. Do you think the federal government will be discussing with them? It's a big question. I leave Nigerians to answer that question. For you to say, to me to know that we are not operating on the same level playing ground. If they are from the southeast or from the south-south, do you think, or maybe from the southwest, do you think federal government will be negotiating with them? Is the question.
All right, on Facebook, Adeomi Kazimarika says, good morning, well done, God bless Nigeria from New Garage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Tolu.
All right, the conversation continues as it never ends. Of course, Perspectives Unlimited returns tomorrow at exactly 6:30 a.m. As I would always say, wherever it is that you find yourself, always ensure that you put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Alli. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Not just another